Yeah, fair enough. Fair enough. Talking about Colin Lloyd, professional darts player. You've been very successful in the game and won a fair few, Bob.
Mm-hmm.
Have you been extravagant at all? Have you actually bought something at some point and thought a couple of months later or a couple of weeks later, why the bloody hell did I do that?
Quite honestly, I've never done that. I've bought and done some extravagant things, but I've never regretted it. It's a bit like my career. I'll look back on my career and I won't regret anything. I've had a nice time. Like you say, I've earned a few quid. So, sometimes I look at it, I think to myself, I've worked for it, so do what I want with it. And if you choose to squander it, then that's your doing. But if you choose to invest it or do whatever with it, that's also your doing.
Well,
so, but no,
right.
I don't think
it's got to last a fair while, hasn't it?
Sorry?
The big money has got to last a fair while, hasn't it, in reality?
No, yeah. I mean, like I say, there's a lot of people out there that, there's some good money being earned by people. Gary Anderson and Adrian Lewis have been really creaming it in, and James Wade and whatever, over the past year or so. And good luck to them. That's what they're there for. They're professional dart players, and that's what's available. And, you see a lot of the dart players now, they like to have extravagant cars and whatever, and they're nice flash cars. But so what? As long as they've paid their bills and they've got a bit of cash left over and they want to buy something flash, go for it. I can't say I've ever really done anything really flash out in my life. I went and had a nice 2-week holiday in Tobago a couple of years back with the other half. But and before you say yes, that did cost me a few quid. Mm-hmm. But that was a holiday. I'd earned that holiday, and so I spent and paid out on that holiday. But no, I've got no regrets about how I spent my money.
No, fair play. Still about the money in darts.
Mm-hmm.
The PDC won 128 pros signed up to that scorecard.
Yeah.
Do you actually think there's enough cash floating around darts to sustain the 128? So they actually still be pros, because not many actually are in percentage terms.
If you want pure honesty, from my point of view, I don't personally think it should be a closed shop. I don't think it should be just 128 players. I've never thought of it like that. I know they want to make it more professional and things like that, but we're not golf, we're not tennis. We don't generate that sort of money. Don't get me wrong, the PDC and Barry Hearn and whatever, they have worked wonders with our game of darts, and the board of the PDC, and they've got in some fantastic sponsors. And, we're all very grateful for that. But when it comes to the Opens, when it comes to like the Pro Tour events and things like that, I don't think it should be a closed shop. It's not a closed shop over in Europe, so why make it a closed shop in England? You should just let it open to whoever wants to play it.
Yeah, and, I agree with that, because there are some fantastic, there's some really cracking players out there that are playing the Opens, that are playing the county circuits, and and so if there's a Pro Tour event in Barnsley, and a few decent players want to pitch up, pay their money and see how far they go, on a day basis, I also agree that should be available to them. Yeah.
In some ways, I mean, obviously there's the opportunities for the UK Open. Anybody can enter the UK Opens. So, I mean, that's still open to anyone and everyone. But when it comes to the Players' Championships, that's a bit of a... I can see where, I mean, they say, well, how long do you want the day to take? I mean, we have things in Germany. I played one this year. I played my first game. Bearing in mind it was Toby Hockey at 12 o'clock. I think I played my first game at about 1 o'clock. That was only because it was a stage game. And then I played my next game at about 5:15 that afternoon.
That's a fair
and so the PDC are looking at it, they're saying, well, how is that professional? And in some ways I have to agree with them. But so maybe they can look at it that the top 32, top 64, they come in at the 128 place. So you play down to 64 players, then you come in, and then that makes up your 128. I mean, I don't know. Everybody's got their own way of thinking about things. Like I said to you earlier, I just turn up and play. Everybody's got an opinion on how things should be run and how things should be done. That's not for me to do. Firstly, I wouldn't have the time to do it. I wouldn't have a clue where to start to do it. And that's why we have officials and board members and all things like that. It's down to them guys to do it. And if they feel that they're running it the right way, then so be it. You know, I'm only one voice. And at the end of the day, you know, people have said to me before, it's all right for you because you're up there in the rankings. And I answer that with, yeah, well, hang on a minute. Back in 1999, I dipped my hand in my own pocket and I travelled here, there and everywhere and I earned my place.
So everybody in them rankings has earned it by results on the dartboard. Yeah,
I mean, I got the stick years ago of, like when I was world number one for 2 years. You know, you used to get the flag that but you're not the best player in the world. I said, hang on a minute. I said, I've never said I'm the best player in the world. I said, I'm ranked number one in the world. I said, I never said I am the best dart player in the world. I said, I've travelled to the tournaments and accumulated the points. I said, which has put me to world number one. I said, what do you want me to do? Not bother going to anything and let myself drop back down? I said, that's just not going to happen. I said, I have earned my place as number one and I'm pleased to be number one. So, you know, you get out of the game what you put in. That's the way I look at it. And I like to think that I've put a hell of a lot into the game on behalf of myself. You know, looking at myself in the mirror, thinking to myself, I've made the effort and I've reaped the rewards of it.
On your ranking, you're currently, if I'm correct, sitting around at number 11.
Yeah, something like that. 11, 12 or 13 on game, something like that.
Yeah, I think last time I looked, you were 11. So,
oh, right, okay.
Do you feel that you can get back into that top 10, then back into that top 6 and into the Premier League again? Oh, yeah, definitely. If ever I don't believe I can do that, it'll be time for me to put my darts away and say, in the great words of the London gangster Dave Courtney, stop the ride, I want to get off. If ever I lose the belief that I can't beat the top players or be up there with the top players, I'm not going to make up numbers because that's not what I'm about. You know, I've worked too hard over the years to be just called an also-ran. So, but, you know, I look at it, I've said it before in interviews, I joined the PDC in February of 99. I didn't join it, I played one of their tournaments at John Smith's International Open in Eastbourne. And I won that, and by the end of that year I was ranked inside the top 16, and I've never dropped out of it since. So 13 years of being in what they usually call the elite of the top 16, I don't think I've done too bad. No, but, it doesn't sound too shabby, does it?
As they always say, there's always room for improvement. So, like I say, I've never used the diabetes as an excuse, and I never will. It was just a matter of getting myself and my body and whatever adapted to the diabetes. And now I feel as though I've done that. I feel as though I've got a new lease of life for me, and I feel as though I can get back on the dartboard and do some damage. I certainly could if my practice game comes onto the match board, then people of the darting world watch out, because practicing I'm throwing absolutely lovely. It's just a matter of bringing it back onto the match board.
Well, that's definitely a fingers crossed then, isn't it?
Yeah.